In 1990, before the Great War, a teenager named Christopher takes a test under his professor's supervision. To everyone's shock, he finishes it in just a few minutes. Later, his sister, Michelle, tells him that even Einstein needed 3 days to solve it. Despite his incredible talent, Christopher admits he only takes the test to avoid disappointing their parents. He doesn't feel ready for college, but Michelle believes in him. She tells him he has the potential to change the world. Encouraged by her words, he decides to give it a try. Years later, on May 15th, the world is in chaos. Robots, originally designed to assist humans, have turned against them. News reports warn of growing rebellion, and a rogue advertising bot openly defies the president's orders by vandalizing the AMA Memorial. The Robot Equality Coalition responds with violent protests across several U.S. cities, sparking an all-out war between humans and machines. For 2 years, humanity struggles, losing battle after battle, until Ethan Skate introduces the Neurocaster. This revolutionary technology links human minds to mechanized drones, creating powerful soldiers. With this advantage, humans finally push back, forcing the robot leaders to sign a peace treaty with President Clinton. But even after the war ends, the Neurocaster changes the world in ways no one expects. Now, people can exist in 2 places at once, working while also relaxing at home. Ethan calls it freedom. The scene shifts to Michelle, who lives with her foster dad, Ted. She goes to school and notices that almost everyone wears a Neurocaster, except her. When she refuses to use one, she is sent to the principal's office, where she learns that the Neurocaster is mandatory for students in grade 9 and above. The principal says that if she does not follow the rules, they will have to inform her mother. Michelle tells the principal that her entire family died in a car accident. Heartbroken, she goes home and falls asleep, only to dream about the scary moment when their car turns sharply to avoid a deer and crashes. Michelle was badly hurt in the accident. She woke up in the hospital. A sudden noise wakes her. She gets up to investigate and finds a strange-looking robot inside her home. Panicked, she rushes to warn her robot companion Ted. But before she can react, the strange-looking robot enters the house. Hiding in fear, she watches as it searches for her. But instead of attacking, it opens its head, revealing damaged parts and gestures for help. She hesitates, unsure if she can trust it. Carefully, she begins repairing it. As soon as it regains function, the robot calmly reveals that he is her brother. Before she can process his words, he suddenly collapses. As Michelle turns, she sees her foster father standing behind them. He has attacked the robot. In a world where humans are forbidden from keeping robots, he immediately orders Michelle to remove it from the house. Michelle refuses to back down. She argues that the robot only got inside because of his carelessness. Her defiance angers him, and in a fit of rage, he lashes out at her. But before he can harm her, the robot suddenly gets back up and rushes to protect her. Her foster father tries to report them to the authorities, but Michelle reacts quickly. She knocks him unconscious. Before escaping, she asks the robot to remove her tracker. But Ted chases them, but they manage to escape. Once they are safe, Michelle asks the robot why he said he is her brother and if he has her brother's memories. When he nods, she panics. If that's true, where is her real brother's body? The robot gestures, indicating that an older doctor with glasses knows the answer. Michelle instantly recognizes him, the same doctor who once told her that her brother was dead. Determined to find the truth, she pulls out a map. The robot points to a heavily guarded robot facility, the only place where they can find the doctor who holds the answers about Chris. They continue their journey, boarding a train that passes through dark forests and empty lands. The world is now completely dependent on Neurocaster devices. As Michelle and Chris, the robot, continue their journey, Chris monitors humanity's condition. He warns Michelle that danger is near, and that their only hope is to combine their Cosmo modules. As they move forward, they notice a truck approaching. Hiding in the shadows, they watch a tense exchange unfold. A man unlocks a safe to collect money, while another arrives with his robot to complete a trade. When the package turns out to be a weapon, the situation takes a dark turn. The buyer refuses to pay for the gun and even threatens to kill the seller. Before he can do anything, the seller's robot attacks him from behind with a laser, disabling him. Together, they load the disabled robot into their van, unaware that Michelle and Chris have secretly slipped inside. Meanwhile, Marshall, a ruthless hunter, is tracking Michelle. He finds important clues about her location and is closing in fast. The seller takes them to his hideout, where Michelle and Chris hide in the basement. When he finally discovers them, Michelle begs for his help. She needs to reach the X, a place he also plans to visit. But he warns her, it's not a haven, just a death trap. Before they can talk further, unexpected visitors arrive. Marshall has caught up to them, declaring that the facility is now under the control of the Robot Activation Task Force. He demands that Michelle hand over Chris. The seller refuses to back down. He orders his robot to electrocute Marshall's robot, but the plan fails. Marshall's robot absorbs the energy instead. Michelle and Chris try to fight back, but their opponent is too strong. Realizing they can't win, they surrender. Just then, the seller activates one of his machines, trapping the enemy robot and giving them a chance to escape. However, their victory is short-lived. The robot breaks free, destroying everything in its path. As they flee, the furious seller blames Michelle for the disaster, but she doesn't have time for arguments. Her brother needs her. She convinces him to help track down the doctor who knows where Christopher is. Deciding to help, the seller activates his strongest robot, and together, they set off to find the truth. Meanwhile, Ethan, the creator of Neurocasters, faces problems of his own. While dining with his mother, his surroundings suddenly glitch, revealing that he is inside an artificial reality. His scientists inform him that the Neurocaster network is failing, and worse, Christopher has vanished from their system. Ethan refuses to believe it, but they confirm the worst. Christopher's mind is missing. If they don't find him soon, Ethan's entire empire will collapse. Desperate, Ethan contacts Marshall through the digital world and offers him a deal. If Marshall captures Michelle and her robot, Ethan will help him recover his missing robot. Marshall agrees, setting their plan in motion. Elsewhere, Michelle and her team arrive at a mysterious location, but before they can react, a group of robots ambushes them. Overpowered, they are taken to their leader, Mr. Peanut. He apologizes for the attack, explaining that his people thought they were scavengers. Over the years, his group has been under constant attack. Michelle demands to know where the doctor is. Mr. Peanut seems surprised, finding it strange that Ethan Skate's organization is targeting a young boy. He reveals that a man named Dr. Clark Amherst was once an expert in human-machine interactions. However, Mr. Peanut sent him away long ago and refuses to say where he is now. Furious, Michelle storms off. That night, lost in memories of her brother, Michelle is startled when Chris plays an old video. The surrounding robots gather in silence to watch. As the night deepens, a small robot approaches Michelle with unexpected news. It hands her a letter from Dr. Amherst, meant for Christopher if he ever returned. Inside, there is an address, their next destination. Just as they prepare to leave, the robot gives them a final warning. She can't help them anymore. She is in danger now, and so are they. When things seem hopeless, Mr. Peanut arrives and agrees to help Michelle and her team escape. The next day, they set out on their journey, unaware that Marshall is already tracking them. When they reach the location given by the doctor, Mr. Peanut senses something is wrong. Moments later, chaos erupts. Robots attack, forcing them to run for their lives. As they struggle to escape, an unexpected ally comes to their rescue. To their surprise, it is Dr. Amherst. Furious, Michelle confronts him, demanding to know where her brother is. Amherst reveals that Christopher is being held at the center's island campus. He explains that humans are losing the war, and Christopher's unique abilities were discovered by accident through a special imaging machine. According to Amherst, Christopher's mind is a miracle. He is the key to controlling the Neurocasters and drones. However, after 13 months, Christopher wakes up and warns that he must be disconnected. But Skate refuses to lose his valuable asset. When Amherst tries to intervene, Skate threatens him. Knowing he can't rescue Christopher physically, Amherst creates a slight connection between Christopher's mind and the outside world, allowing his consciousness to escape even though his body remains trapped. Determined to save her brother, Michelle insists they must act quickly. But before they can move forward, Marshall arrives. While searching the area, he finds Dr. Amherst's identity card. A brutal fight breaks out between Mr. Peanut and Marshall, while the rest of the group tries to escape. Unfortunately, they are soon surrounded. As the battle intensifies, Marshall overpowers Mr. Peanut and seemingly takes him down. Meanwhile, Amherst and Marshall fight one-on-one, but before Amherst can gain the upper hand, Skate arrives and eliminates him. On the other hand, Christopher is taken away, while Michelle is forced to retreat. But in a shocking twist, Mr. Peanut survives, only to find their home destroyed. Meanwhile, Christopher is reconnected to the system where his real body remains. Even Marshall, who has always been loyal to Skate, is horrified by what he sees. Skate then reveals the truth. Every war crime and death caused by Marshall was actually under Christopher's influence. Realizing he has been manipulated, Marshall begins questioning everything. Determined to end this, Michelle and her team come up with a final plan. Dr. Amherst's robot warns them that the entire system is connected to Christopher's mind. If they disconnect him, all Neurocasters and drones will shut down permanently. With no other choice, they decide to attack Skate's facility. The next day, Michelle sneaks into the lab while the others create a distraction, battling Skate's robotic army. Mr. Peanut leads his team against Skate's powerful war machines, giving Michelle enough time to reach Christopher. Inside the digital world, she finds him trapped in guilt, believing he is responsible for all the destruction. Overwhelmed, Christopher tells Michelle he wants to die to stop everything. Heartbroken, she makes the painful decision to honor his wish. As she disconnects him, drones all over the world shut down, sending shockwaves through society. The truth about Skate's experiments and the dark reality of Neurocasters spreads rapidly. The next day, Michelle records a video explaining why the Neurocasters had to be shut down. She reveals how the technology stripped people of their emotions and human connections. Now, with the system destroyed, the world must learn to live again. And with that, the story comes to an end. If you enjoy movie recaps like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.